Hi, this is James Scott with Board on the Bayou. This episode, I'm going to do a quick little run through and review of Triplock by Chip Theory Games. It's 1 to 2 players, either co-op or competitive, 10 to 15 minutes, ages 12 and up. It's a steampunk theme memory type game and dice. What you're going to pretty much be doing is setting up these little stacks, which is consisting of a fail-safe on the top and bottom and a mechanism in the middle. And you randomly, you're supposed to do this in secret, is you randomly grab them and make these little stacks. After you make them even, I like to randomly flip them in this. And on your turn, if let's say you're playing competitive, each player is going to get a diagram. And on the diagram, you'll have different things you could do on in this one here. You're trying to get either these three in any of these locations, because you see the symbol. You're trying to either find this one symbol, or you're trying to collect 3 gears, or these are the fail safes, the countermeasures, or you're trying to get a combo. You're trying to get the lock on the left of that one's the push. Yeah, the push. And what you're going to do is you take your card and you decide which one you want to do. Let's say you do the simplest one, it's for 1 point. And you're going to take it and you're going to put it down face down in front of you like this. Because your opponent can take your card, he can reveal it. So he got an idea what you're doing, so he'll know you're trying to get that. So he may mess with these stacks so that you can't figure out which one it is. He can also rotate it to mount it, make it harder. You can rotate your own. You can also, there's a way to flip it back. And he's going to be doing the same thing on his side. He's going to have a secret one down. And you're going to roll the dice. And then you can do you get to do 3 things in your turn. You can use ability from your character. I'm sorry, everybody, I forgot to mention, everybody gets a character card. They all have different special abilities. Some are better for solo, some are against an opponent. You'd have your character, so you can use your skilled pin here, or you can put it here. And every time you don't use your skill, it goes up. And then once it gets to this point, you get 2 points. This one, you slide it up. When you get to here, you can actually do an extra action. You can actually roll another die. Here, this one makes your opponent from being able to play his ability on his turn, but you have to discard a failsafe. On these dice, they have a bunch of different symbols, and they'll tell you. I'm sorry, I got the incorrect ones. There is a typo on the ones. They come with it. And on these cards, what you do is these are the different actions that can come up on the dice. You either can do the 2 actions on the dice, or discard them and do any action you want. You can either peek at this. Obviously, you're going to want to keep it secret from your opponent. So you look at the mechanism and this and go, okay, so I know this is a keypad and there's the gear. And I can do a second one. I'm going to look at this one. This is a gear pad and push. So keypad, push. Another thing you can do is you can flip. I keep grabbing the wrong one. You can flip any one stack in the visible lock area. And these 3 stacks in the visible area. This is the hidden area. So you can take one and you can flip it. So now, and talking, I forgot what that one was. But now whatever this was, now on the bottom, that was the keypad, yeah. So if you look on the back of the keypad, and no, you're not supposed to look like that. We knew that was the keypad or the code. So now we know the keys on top. So key and push. So that's where the memory part. If you don't like memory games, this is definitely not the game for you. Another thing you can do is you can swap any one stack in the visible lock area. There. So I could take these stacks, and now I know. Now it's push, key, unknown, unknown. Another action you can do is disarm any failsafe. So you could take it and disarm this. Now you have this. These are what you use to prevent your person, but you also use those. Remember I said collect? Well, now you got 1 of 3. There is 4 of each one. There's two stars or explosives and 2 gears. And then another thing you can do is disarm any failsafe in the visible lock area and draw a new diagram. Okay, that's the one I just did. So now you draw another diagram. You have up to 3 diagrams. And you can decide which one you want to try to do. Well, there's a push right there, so I'll be able to show that one in a sec. No, because it's sitting right there, push. Ones like that. Well, as this game goes on, it'll actually get easier to score some of these. This other one, peek at the mechanism and its failsafe in the hidden area. So I get to peek at this. It's an explosive and a spring. Flip this stack over. So now it's a gear. Yep, on the back of the spring is a gear. So now I know that's a gear, push, key. Well, now we know this is either the levers or the padlock under this one. But you also have to rotate these to the left. I'm sorry, left to right. So these goes off, this goes, and now this is here. So now we know gear, push, key, either a lever or padlock. So when you're looking at your one, let's say if you did have this one up, you needed the lock and the push. So you know that it can't be done here because it's actually a lever and it has to be from left to right on this one. But on this card here, we can, on our turn, we can go, oh, look, I'm going to trip using the push. Well, there it is. It's obvious. So that's the easy 1 point. But you don't draw another card because it didn't have on there to draw a new diagram. The harder ones allow you to draw a diagram. And that's going to be a key thing because when you roll, the only other way to get cards is if you get that one face that says you can draw another card. But on your turn, you can always draw a card because you can just go, I'm not going to take use either of those actions, and I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to do the disarm and draw. So you could disarm one and draw. The last thing that's on these faces of this dice is to reveal, conceal, or alter any diagram. So I can reveal my opponent's one, or I could hide mine if he had revealed it. I can also rotate his. So I can mess with him and go, no, now you have to try to solve it that way. Or I may, if I found that one's now too hard because I know that's out of order, I can rotate mine now to this because I know where the lock is at. And you can't go to look at the bottom. You have to look at the top one. So now another thing is when you're revealing them, it's all revealing the visible area. The hidden is hidden. When you do it, you go, okay, I think I have this right. Lock. Nope. You immediately stop, take your card, and your card gets discarded, and your turn's over with. So that's the basics of the game, and you continue back and forth. Like I said, cooperative, you'll have so many rounds. Same thing with solo. And yes, and by the way, while I'm thinking of it, you do notice that it is left to right you're facing. So when he rotates it, he goes from left to right. So he actually slides them this way. Whereas the other player rotates them this way. So that also will kind of mess with it. My thoughts of the game. I really love this game. It's probably one of the best solo games out there. Cooperative. It's just as fun because you have the two different abilities. When you play solo and cooperative, you have these little scenarios. You'll have on the sheets. You have they're plastic sheets they use. You have the background story. And then you have the little background for each little scenario, and you do the 4 rooms. Unfortunately, mine actually came with 1, 3, 3, and 4, so I gotta get with customer service. But the quality of materials is top notch. The artwork is gorgeous. If you love steampunk, you're gonna love this game. I mean, these costumes and the writing is really nice. The rulebook is pretty simple, easy to understand. Could be written a little bit better, but a lot of big color photos explaining the different stuff. Here are your solo episodes, how to set up a solo, how to set up cooperative, how to do a 3-player. You would have to have your different ones. It's a great little mat. It rolls up, goes in this little tube, and the tube goes. Everything fits in the little box. This is that same neoprene that they pretty much use all their stuff on. The dice are great quality. It's the same type of whatever that heat transfer, whatever it is that's on there. It's really good. Once you roll them, the symbols are pretty easy to see. You got your little sheets. For solo, I definitely give this a 9, 9.5. Like I said, I love it as a solo game, but I also like a puzzle memory type, and this is exactly what this is. So simple. The another part on this one, because it only comes with one scenario. I wish for the base set came with another scenario, but you can for $9. You can order these expansion packs, and you get a location, a character, and like 4 room cards for that story. And those are for solo and co-op. For competitive, you don't need that. Competitive, I would probably give the game probably about an 8, 8.5. It's going to have to be 2 people that like puzzles and memory type. And then if you really like the game like I did, you can also go out and eventually get. They actually have the steel dice, the metal dice, alloy dice, whatever they want to call them. Gorgeous, brass brushed, a shiny gold color, and a steel brushed 6-sided dice. Real heavy, gorgeous. They also have in this tube, which is supposed to hold everything, but the large cards for the characters, you can see mine have this little curl to it, because I tried putting mine in there, and you got to kind of roll them to get them to fit in there. So now they have a curl to them, so I'll have to lay them flat. I just won't keep those in it. In that tube will come a little thing to hold all the cards and the chips and the dice. And probably the great, this is, to me, if you have the game, you're going to end up wanting to get this. The playmat, the deluxe playmat. It's a neoprene, thick material, gorgeous. Has all the actions you can do down here, all the mechanisms, your points tracker. This is the competitive side, so that you don't need to. and your opponent has the exact same thing on his side facing him. On the other side, you would flip it around. On this side, you have the solo co-op, and again, all the symbols, all the dice faces are here, so you don't need the thing. Some discard spots. This is where you put the diagram. Your character, if you're a co-op character, can go over here if you're playing two. Your story, your discard spot for everything, and it's got that stitching on it. Gorgeous, definitely. I don't care for the tube so much, but I do love the mat. And if you, I guess I should have reviewed these earlier, but these are the poker chips. If you play a chip theory game, you'll know these quite well. It's the same standard poker chips they use. That is grooved so that these slightly metallic stickers sit down in here, so they don't get worn or everything. Real heavy duty. I don't have to worry about these things ever wearing out, and it is fun, doing that, putting down. So that's my review. If you're looking for a solo puzzle memory type game, I highly recommend this game. If you have another person that likes the same type of game, and you want to compete against each other and really start messing with you, because like I said, in competitive mode, once your opponent is also looking at them, flipping them, swapping them, it's a, I guess you would call it a 4-card Monty of everything flipping and switching around. And I definitely would recommend this also. But if you're not good at doing memories and liking solving these puzzles, you probably won't care for this. It is definitely a niche game. So this is James Scott with Board on the Bayou. Always remember to comment, like, and subscribe below. Thank you.